Yo guys, it's Diktaturen with you today, and we are back with another Swedish F1 league. This time in the Netherlands, which is one of my favorite tracks, or I'd say it's my absolute favorite tracks. I have been pretty lucky recently with the tracks I'm racing in, as we're jumping straight into Q2. We are on the medium tires, as our strategy is to start on mediums and take the gamble that we won't have an early safety car. I want to jump back a little bit. We did the last race in Brazil, and I have to say we absolutely dominated it. I think, ended up 13 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack with a 5-second penalty. So technically on track I was 18 or something seconds ahead, which was a very solid race for myself, and a really good comeback after the previous race that I also had in Brazil with SRL, Scandinavian Racing League. I think I ended up P8 or something like that. As you can see, we are purple on our first sector with the medium tires fighting against soft tires, also purple in the second sector. So this is looking like it's going to be a very solid lap, and it's really important that I maximize the time here, so I won't have to go out again and wear out these tires. Otherwise I'm gonna be forced to go out on the soft tires, and you can see my ERS is running low, but I'm gonna have enough to go through the finish line, and we get a 1:10.8, which is a very solid time using medium tires. There was a little bit more time to catch, but we chose to not go out again. We went out and felt a little bit if we had to do another lap, but we were all good and got through to Q3, which is the lap we are coming on to now, and we are on the last lap. As you can see, I wanted to do 2 laps in a row, but the time just wasn't enough. I was 3 seconds off the pace to make 2 laps. So I'm just gonna have to make sure I really nail this, as we have Aliens in second place right now, and he was putting very solid times in as well. So right now my competition in at least the qualifying sessions is looking like it's going to be between me or Aliens, but I'm doing a purple first sector. If you look on the minimap, you can also see that Aliens is just started his lap, so we'll see, maybe he's gonna squash my time. We are losing a little bit of the time around here, but on this exit on the DRS we are gaining. We're now a 10th up, which is very nice, and coming onto the end of the second sector, also purple, which is expected right now. It's all about what the kind of time he will set. I'm losing a little bit of time here. Feels like I have more time to gain, but on this exit I am completely nailing the exit and gaining a single 10th on one corner. So we're gonna just go a straight line onto the finish line, and we are putting a 1:10 blank, which I was very happy about. We're gonna follow on Alien's lap right now and see what times he is setting. If can he compete? He is 1.5 tenths up on his previous time, so he will be dangerous. He could compete with us right here. As he's coming through the last sector, he is not getting that exit that we did. So watching back at this, I was feeling fairly confident I'm gonna get pole, but we're gonna see. He's gonna cross the finish line, and he gets a 1:10.1. Also an extremely good time, but I was quicker and ended up on pole. But I am on medium tires, and the rest of the pack are on softs behind me, except when you come from P11 and everyone who had a free choice of tires. But everyone from P1 to P10 are going on soft tires, as I was the only car to go on the mediums. So I'm a little bit worried. It's an unnecessary risk to take, as it's a gamble that's just gonna cost me, especially when I have the pace for pole. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Chicken Sucker and Ostman here collided during the formation lap, so they got disqualified, but I think it was pretty much towards the end, so it shouldn't affect their race too much, as their tires will be somewhat warm, at least if they made some proper warm-up. We did a pretty slow formation lap, so I wouldn't have to wait forever and have the tires cooling down. So the race is about to start. I'm gonna fight with Aliens immediately right now, as he is on soft tires. 5 lights, and away we go, and we are getting a good launch, but Aliens is getting a rocket ship of a launch. He's coming around on my inside. He's going a little bit deep, so we're gonna do the cutback, touching a little bit. And now we are gonna squeezing him a little bit on the outside, leaving some space. And we're gonna be ahead into this corner, but Aliens is off. And he is, if you look on the minute map, there in the last position. Asking Jeff if I have any damage, and I didn't get damage from that touch when I did the switchback, which is good for us. And right now, I don't know if a lot of you paid attention on what happened, but in my mind I felt like I was to blame. I thought to myself that I pushed him wide and didn't leave him any space. So my mindset right now is pretty low, as I am already thinking in my head that I'm gonna have a 10-second penalty after this race. So I'm going to be forced to really make sure I stay ahead as long as I possibly can against these soft tires behind me. And it's gonna be a challenge. Around here the mediums are pretty good. It's a solid race tire, but the softs are, it's a different class. You are so much faster than them on it, so I really need to push a little bit to stay ahead without burning too much ERS, as around here as well ERS management is key, as if you run out, it's kind of similar to Russia in that sense. If you run out, you're gonna be out of ERS for quite some time. So I'm really making sure now I maintain a good gap, and you can see I'm still 6/10 ahead of Esan, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Esan is a very fast driver, and he has Svas behind who's also very quick and splashy as well. I haven't seen Osman too much, so I can't say too much there, but I have at least 3 drivers behind who are very quick. If anyone saw, where's Neon, who typically is the guy I'm racing, and he did get disqualified or DNF'd in the 3rd qualifying session, so he is starting P10. He has some catching up to do, as he's stuck behind some traffic, it looks like on the minimap. Nonetheless, still staying ahead of Esan, getting a good exit here and gaining time. I have 80% of ERS, which is very good, but it doesn't feel like Esan is pushing too much. We're coming across the finish line, setting the fastest lap, but we get a yellow flag, and I think it's a safety car, but it's not. I'm braking a little bit there, almost a brake check on Esan. DRS enabled, so we keep going. Aliens retires from the session, and he is out, and Snicky as well, and we have a virtual safety car. So I get a chance to reset a little bit, but I'm not very happy about the safety cars. This can get upgraded to a real safety car, but it doesn't, and it stays a virtual safety car for quite some time. We are around 1 lap pretty much, and I am going. I saved for 1 second on the delta, so I feel like I can push, but I have to brake a little bit because the delta will drop here. And now green flag is on, so I can put the throttle down and go. We're gonna see what the gap is gonna be. It's a second now to Esan, which is unbelievable for me. DRS won't be activated for a couple of laps, so I need to maintain this pace and keep him out of the DRS. So I'm gonna take the opportunity to push now and make sure that for him to stay within, he is gonna have to push as well, which is gonna make him vulnerable to Svas to overtake him. So he's gonna have a decision to make if he wants to stay within my DRS, which I am definitely sure he wants to, because I am on worse tires than he are right now. The mediums should be way slower, but my pace around here is, I have to say it myself, my pace around here is very good, as this is typically the track I go in and just drive around whenever I'm bored, as I cannot get enough of this map. I have been debating a lot before this race if I wanted to go without racing the dynamic racing line. I eventually decided to not go for taking it off, as I'm just so much more confident with the racing line, and I wanted to do a solid race at a track where I feel like it's my home. If you look behind, you can see Svas just overtook Esan and set the fastest lap, so he's gonna have a go now into catching up, as these soft tires behind, they will be dropping off. Not right now though, but they will be dropping off in just a couple of laps, as the soft tires pretty much die around lap 10 in Zandvoort. So we're gonna see if Svas can keep up to me, but it still looks like it's gonna be the same gap. And I would guess that Svas, he has probably worn out his tires, chasing down Essan and going for the overtake. You can see it's now 1.2 seconds and it's looking very comfortable for myself. So we are just gonna go about our own here and make sure that we don't make any silly mistakes, and it looks like we are gonna ride this one home, and we are very lucky it's not gonna be a safety car. Svas has pitted for the hard tires, so he is gonna try and go long, while Essan is now coming into the pit lanes. It's gonna leave Splashy behind, who's gonna stay out for quite a while now and try and not chase me down, because right now the medium tires are faster, but he is gonna stay out for quite some time and wait for a safety car. But it didn't happen, and lap 21 now, looking at the tires, 69% on the front left tire, and this imbalance in the tires and the tire wear is not too good. You typically want it to be quite equal in the tire wear, so I must have made a mistake when I set my tire temps, not the tire temps, sorry, when the tire pressures, as the front tires are pretty much screaming for Mama right now, and the rear tires are just hanging along. In lap 22 I would like my tires to be around 60%, but the fronts are dying and I'm not really gaining the time that I want, so I'm taking the decision here to go into the pit lane after this lap and go onto the soft tires. And the softs, they will be hurting by the end of this race, as it's gonna be lap 35, 36 around there, but I should create enough of a gap on fresh softs that this won't matter. But we still have the risk of safety cars and whatnot, and this is Zandvoort, so if you go on a curb around here, if you go just a little bit wide, the car's just gonna fly, and you really need to be careful when you drive around here. It's very easy to spin out, and if you spin out or just lose control, you might end up in the middle of the track and taking someone else down, which was what happened with Aliens and Paradise when Aliens retired, as Paradise spun and Aliens drove straight into him on this straight right here in this curve. And we have a yellow flag up ahead now, so it looks like we have another spinner. It's Hyper Gaming Deluxe who is out. We're gonna go into the box no matter what, but we see we have this safety car, and I have a little bit of mixed feelings about it. I get a free pit stop, but it doesn't really matter because everyone else behind us already pitted, and I'm sure they're gonna go in for a new set of soft tire. Essan and Splashy both have a free pit stop, as they have 14 seconds back to Svas, so they can double stack without a problem. And now it's pretty much race on. We're gonna see where we're gonna end up when we're coming out of from the pits. We have a car behind. It's Scuffle Truck, who is a lap behind, maybe 2 laps even, I'm not really sure, but at least 1 lap. And we are now gonna go behind the safety car, and yeah, this is gonna be turning out to be somewhat of a race. So looking back, we have Gaffeltruck, who is lapped, and right around here you can see, I like Gaffeltruck. He's a decent guy, and don't get me wrong around here, but behind the safety car I was very nervous having him behind, because he drove, you can see there, very aggressive on me when there's no reason to be aggressive behind the safety car, especially when it's not coming in. So please be mindful, as he almost hits me again, about this, because there's no reason to be that aggressive. And maybe if we're gonna touch each other, we're both gonna get 5 seconds, which will ruin our race if we would have to pit again, which right now it doesn't look like we are going to have to do that. Warming up my tires, I'm going really slow because the safety car is a little bit glitched around here, so you're gonna get stuck if you go on the gas pedal too early. So I really want to make sure the safety car goes in, but I want to make somewhat of a surprise jump because we have some lapped cars behind. We're gonna see when are we gonna pull the trigger. There we go, and we get a very good launch. We're gonna look behind right now and see where they are, and they are almost right now closing up to a second behind already. So we really surprised them with that launch, and Essan and Splashy have some cars that with blue flags they're gonna have to go past. And the lapped cars decided to race a little bit before they let them go, which obviously hurt the race. As you can see on the Delta, Essan and Splashy are losing a lot of time. So right now I think Essan got past. He has two cars between myself and him. So we're gonna see now when he has a gap if he's gonna be able to close this distance. But right now I'm in my zone on these soft tires, and this safety car right there was pretty good for myself, because now I only have 10 laps to do with these soft tires, as I pretty much didn't use them and worn them out under that safety car. So coming now, we have only 3 laps left and we are 7.5 seconds ahead. But remember, we had that incident with aliens where I thought that I am gonna have 10 seconds, so I am still pushing right now. I need to get this 10-second gap, and McNocky is out of the session, and we have another safety car. And right about now, I'm feeling screwed, because I think I'm gonna have 10 seconds, and I'm not really sure what to do. I am choosing right now to go into the pit lane and put on a new set of softs, and I think this is mostly frustration from myself. I am confident I'm gonna catch up to these guys behind us. I do have a gap, I'm not gonna get put too far back, but I was expecting some people of them to go into the pit lane as well, and they don't. So I'm gonna come out right now in P5. Now I really want to make sure I get ahead of Vetter, who is just around myself there. So I'm pushing out from the pit lane, but he gets ahead. So I'm now in P6. And Vetter ahead with a 5-second penalty, and Neon as well, P4. So he really did a good lap. But Vetter pushes Neon under the safety car into the wall. And I can confirm this is not some silly thing that Vetter did. This is quite simply a bug, as Neon was an AI for Vetter. But P5, and this safety car could stay out for a couple of laps more, and we might only have 1 lap of racing. So this pit lane thing where I went in is not looking very good. So right now I'm saying hello to Dynamite, as it's a very good friend of mine. I'm feeling right now I'm not making the correct choice, but the safety car is coming in the same lap as it went out. So maybe our decision wasn't too bad after all. We're gonna see if they're gonna hold up on the restart. Everyone is hungry now to go. Vetter ahead, 5-second penalty. Svas 3 seconds. Remember, you never know, they might be removed. But right now I'm seeing 2 cars that are behind me. I'm currently in a podium, but Splashy and Essan in P1 and P2, and they are very good teammates. They will definitely help each other out if I get up there. And I have 2 laps of racing on these fresh set of soft tires. What am I gonna decide to do? When it's gonna restart? He's pulling the trigger there. I'm going, but I'm going a little bit early, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit and lift. Gonna get ahead of Volkok, who is a blue flag car, and we're gonna get a Vetter as well, and we are diving in and getting 2 people in 1 corner, which is very nice. Svas ahead now. 3-second penalty on Svas. I need to get ahead of him as quick as I can, and I do have a lot fresher tire than he has, so I can really make sure that I can get ahead of him very soon. But I'm gonna have to push, because I don't want Splashy or Essan to get ahead too far. So coming into these corners, this is a dangerous corner, but I am pretty much nailing it, and I'm getting closer and closer to Svas. I'm seeing an opportunity now, so I'm gonna dive in. Svas closes the door, and we spin, and Svas is spun out. I do keep control of the car, but P4 and this incident is, I'm the only one to blame, but I can't really think too much about it right there, so I have to overtake Vetter. But now I see I have 2.3 seconds to Splashy and Essan, and it's not looking good. With the incident with Svas, I will definitely get a penalty. And if I chase them down, won't really matter. And I'm also thinking to myself, I'm gonna have 10 seconds. You can see on my face here, I'm feeling very bad right now, because I took out Svas, who also these 3 seconds wasn't a correct penalty, so he would get them removed. So he was in a podium. But I took him out due to being way too hungry and probably a little bit frustrated as well from the box I did for new soft. Because if I just stayed out there with the pace I've had, I don't see a way with Essan and Splashy getting ahead, especially when it's not going to be DRS around here now. But we are closing in 1.4 seconds. We are pushing for everything we got, taking every inch out of the car, taking ERS wherever we can. we're really taking high risks now. So we're pushing it, we're losing the car, and we're slamming into the wall. And our race is over. Just like that. If I would be the kind of person who gets red-faced whenever I'm embarrassed, I would look like a tomato right now, as this race is just horrible for myself. So I'm choosing to let every car go now. I don't really wanna think, oh, I'm gonna get the positions I can. I feel guilty, and I'm letting everyone go. Splashy with the win. Essan P2, very good race from them. I think they are leading the standings, constructions, and the drivers' championship. So very, very solid from them, and they proved that the cooler heads win, and they for sure were the cooler heads. Essan with the win, so I have to correct myself there. Splashy P2. So sorry, Essan, but you are the man, and Splash is the second man. We're gonna take a look now from Sva's perspective. This dive bomb, it's not. Yeah, he's not too happy, as he shouldn't be, of course. I would also be fuming, so all my bad. But now we're gonna take a look at the first incident, and looking around here, when I looked at it again, I felt like I didn't really do anything wrong. And when I checked from other cars' perspective, which I don't have the footage of, it was clear that we never touched. And aliens did get just enough space, so I wouldn't have gotten that 10-second penalty. And I'm for sure gonna have to learn from this, and just take it with me in the bag until the next race, and then just make sure that I stay calmer and believe that things are gonna turn out just like they should, because this race was mine to win, and I pretty much threw it on my own. And I also took another car with me, Svas, who is an amazing guy, and we talked later on, and I apologize for it happening. I'm gonna get a penalty, not that it's gonna matter, as I think the other cars behind that I didn't let go in the end, they were lapped. So nonetheless, it's very frustrating, but he accepted the apology, and we're gonna move on and look forward now to Portugal, which is gonna be next Sunday. But also SRL will start next Sunday as well. So you're gonna see some more videos from the league race from now on, as the season break is over and season 2 of SRL is coming into now. So looking forward to that. But right now I'm just gonna cool off and make sure that I am stronger on the next race. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a blessed week, and take care, and please like and subscribe, obviously, if you enjoyed the video. Have a good night. Goodbye.